Welcome to this deep dive. Our mission today is pretty straightforward. We're going to be moving past the famous, the frantic tourist spots in Tokyo,
Right.
and instead find one of those quiet, authentic corners of the city that, well, that really shape everyday Japanese life.
And today, that corner is Zōshigaya. It's this historic, very low-key neighborhood, kind of nestled away inside the 23rd Ward.
Exactly. And we're not just giving you a list of attractions, we're mapping out a deliberate, peaceful stroll.
One that will, I think, really immerse you in layers of history. We're talking everything from traditional coffee shops to century-old temples.
And even the apartments where the fathers of modern Japanese culture lived and worked. It's a side of Tokyo you just can't find in the guidebooks.
Absolutely. If you want to understand how the past and present coexist so peacefully in this massive city, Zōshigaya is, well, it's a perfect window.
And this is an actionable deep dive. We've compiled a whole reference guide for this.
For the complete material covering everything we discuss, specific locations, maps, links to book things, please check out the link in the description. It's all there for you.
And here's a little incentive to stick with us until the very end.
Ooh.
We'll cap it all off by talking about how this neighborhood connects to Japan's last remaining streetcar in the 23rd Ward, plus some really unique lodging options nearby.
Okay, let's get into this deep dive. Our inspiration for this spot came from Gilles Poitras, the author of Tokyo Stroll.
Right.
He pointed to this as just a perfect off-the-beaten-path destination.
And the journey starts really simply, which is, always a welcome relief in a city like Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
You can start the walk from two adjacent stations, Dagashiya Station on the Metro Fukutushin line.
Or Kichibojin-mea Station, which is on the Toden Arakawa line. They're basically right next to each other.
And what's great about this route is how easy it is. It's designed to minimize a lot of strenuous walking.
And it's almost entirely wheelchair accessible, which, as you know, is a huge consideration when you're planning a walk in a city that can be pretty hilly.
Right away, once you get out of the station, you step onto the Kishimoji no Motosandu.
And that narrow approach street, it just instantly sets the tone.
It really does. It's lined with these ancient kiyaki trees.
Zelkovas. Some of them have been standing there for centuries. It feels like the city noise just melts away.
That quiet, timeless feeling brings us to our first historical landmark, the Namiki House.
And this isn't some grand mansion. It's a simple two-story wooden apartment building built in 1953. But it is listed as a National Tangible Cultural Property.
Okay, so why does a relatively modern apartment building from the 50s get that kind of national recognition?
It's a great example of post-war architectural preservation, but, its main claim to fame is its residence. Namiki House was home to two giants of modern Japanese culture. The first and most famous was the manga creator Tezuka Osamu.
The father of manga. Astro Boy, Blackjack,
Yeah, exactly. Tezuka lived there for 3 really pivotal years, starting in 1954, right when he was defining the style of modern comics and animation.
You can just imagine the energy in those walls.
And he wasn't the only one. Architectural photographer Futagawa Yukio, who's known all over the world, also lived there as a student.
It's amazing how much cultural gravity a small apartment can hold.
But what's fascinating is that it's still a functioning residence. And we have to emphasize this. If you visit, please respect the privacy of the people living there. Do not try to enter.
Absolutely essential.
Yeah.
Okay, after that dose of history, we pivot to something a bit more immediate. Sustenance.
Yes.
Just a short walk down from the Miki House, you find Kaizuma Coffee.
This is a perfect stop. They do traditional sock-filtered drip coffee. They have an English menu, which is helpful.
That is helpful.
And it's non-smoking and wheelchair accessible. Just note that they're closed on Wednesdays.
Tell me more about that sock-filtered coffee. We see that phrase when looking for traditional Japanese cafes. Does it really change the flavor?
Oh, it changes it significantly. The method, often called Nell drip, uses a cloth filter, which creates this richer, almost syrupy extraction.
So it's slower.
Much slower. It pulls out more oils than paper, so you get a heavier body and a really clear, clean flavor. It's a true marker of a classic local coffee shop.
After our coffee, we hit the info hub. Conveniently, right next door is the Zōshigaya Information Center.
You can grab your local maps there, general tourist info.
But here's where it gets really interesting for anyone looking for a unique activity.
This is where you can pick up a shikishi, that's a paperboard for collecting ink stamps, and a map for the Zōshigaya 7 Lucky Gods pilgrimage.
I know these pilgrimages are super popular, especially around New Year's. For anyone unfamiliar, what exactly are they and what makes this one special?
So a pilgrimage usually involves visiting 7 local temples and shrines in a loop, and you collect an ink stamp, a gashuin, at each one on your shikishi.
Right, to bring good fortune.
Exactly. But the thing is, most of these are really restricted. They often only run for the week right after New Year's Day.
And the Zōshigaya one.
It can be completed year-round
Oh, nice.
because the stamping is self-handled. You apply the stamp yourself, so you're not reliant on specific opening hours or staff. It makes it this fantastic, flexible piece of local culture.
That is a great tip. Okay, maps and coffee in hand, let's dive into the spiritual core of the neighborhood. We turn right at the end of the Omotesandu, and we arrive at Zōshigaya Kishimojindu Temple.
This temple is really the spiritual heart of the area. It's a Nichiren sect Buddhist temple dedicated to Kishimorin.
Kishimojin, that's the goddess of easy childbirth. Right?
That's right, the protective bodhisattva for children in childbirth. But what's fascinating is that originally she was a malevolent figure, a demon who ate human children.
Wow.
She was converted by the Buddha and then swore to protect children. So that transition from, fear to protection is central to her importance.
And the temple hall itself is incredible. It dates back to 1664.
And it famously survived the firebombing of World War II when so much of Tokyo was just flattened. It's a national important cultural property.
And that sense of history is echoed by the nature around it.
Oh yeah, the massive ginkgo tree on the grounds. We know it was planted sometime in the early 15th century. It's registered as a natural monument of Tokyo.
It's just half a millennium of history in one spot.
And while you're on the grounds, you absolutely have to find Kami Kawaguchiya. It's a simple little wooden building, but it's Tokyo's oldest traditional sweet shop, or dagashiya.
The history here is just astounding. Founded in 1781.
I mean, think about that. It was operating before the Edo period even ended. The shop is still run by the same family, selling those little inexpensive snacks that are pure childhood nostalgia for Japanese people.
And here's where this simple shop becomes a modern cultural touchstone.
Yes.
Kami Kawaguchi was the model for the nostalgic dagashiya in the classic Studio Ghibli film Only Yesterday.
And that connection is such a major hook. That film is all about nostalgia and simple pleasures. Using a real centuries-old shop like this just grounds the film's emotion.
It elevates the shop from a local spot to like a national symbol of tradition. It even appeared on NHK World's Design X Stories.
Okay, so after leaving the temple, we shift focus a bit, moving from spiritual protection to historical complexity.
We walk back toward the entrance, curve right, and head for Zōshigaya Torigenja. This is the local Shinto guardian shrine from 1712.
It was founded to protect the community from disease. But historically, local farmers would also come here to pray for good harvests.
And you can still see a nod to that past, right?
You can. Even today, you can find aubergines, eggplants growing within the shrine grounds.
Just a stone's throw away is the Mitakesan Syrian temple. This one's even older, founded in the early 13th century.
And its origins are also tied to farming. Farmers would pray here specifically for rain during droughts, which is how a tree on the grounds got its name. The rain prayer pine.
And there's a cool little detail for history buffs.
Right. Behind the temple, there's a stone carving that meticulously depicts the entire Zōshigaya area as it looked during the Edo period.
Okay, here's where the stroll brings us face to face with the entirety of modern Japanese history. We arrive at Zōshigaya Cemetery.
Founded in 1874, it was one of Tokyo's first Western-style public cemeteries. It's huge, so we really recommend picking up a map at the office.
And look for the small green nameplates with Roman letters. They mark the famous graves.
And the roll call of people buried here is just remarkable.
You have these towering literary figures like Natsume Siki, whose novel Kukuro defined a generation, and Naga Kafyu.
And maybe one of the most culturally important figures buried here is Lafcadio Hearn.
Known in Japan as Koizumi Yakumo.
Exactly. The Greek-Irish writer who introduced so much of Japanese folklore to the West. He really represents Japan's opening to the world.
You also find the resting places of social pioneers like Hani Motoko, founder of the progressive magazine Fujin no Tomo.
And Ojino Ginko, who broke huge barriers to become the first licensed female physician in Japan. Her grave is actually marked by a statue of her.
Then there's the samurai, Nakahama John Manjiro. His life story is a deep dive in itself, a shipwrecked fisherman who became one of the first Japanese people to visit America.
He was critical and advising the government on American ways right at the start of the Meiji Restoration.
And finally, reflecting the painful complexity of the 20th century, you also find the grave of the infamous Class A war criminal, Tuju Hideki.
It's an unavoidable part of the cemetery's history.
Yeah, and that contrast is powerful. The space is so peaceful, but it contains the entire spectrum of modern Japan. Its literary genius, its social progress, and its darkest military past. It encourages you to think about how history is remembered.
Before we wrap up, there is one distinct side trip just south of the cemetery, the Zōshigaya Old Missionary Museum.
Built in 1907, it's a stunning example of Carpenter Gothic architecture, a really unique style for Tokyo and another tangible cultural property in this small area.
And just a reminder, for all the specific addresses, map links, and booking info for hotels or tours, you can find the complete guide at therealjapan.com.
So what does this all mean for you, the traveler? Zōshigaya offers this thorough, peaceful exploration of Tokyo's deep history, far from the tourist crush.
And to conclude your journey, you can walk back to Toden Zōshigaya Station and ride the Toden Arakawa line.
This line is a really big deal. It is the only remaining streetcar line in the entire 23rd ward of Tokyo.
And the ride itself is just wonderfully slow and pleasant. It passes through these varied residential neighborhoods that the subways just skip right over.
It's a beautifully gentle way to transition back to the bigger city, the perfect bookend to the day.
And if you're wondering about lodging, Zōshigaya is surprisingly well served. You have big chain hotels nearby, like the Sunshine City Prince Hotel Ikebukuro and Hotel Miste's Higashi Ikebukuro.
And for something a bit more intimate, there are boutique options like Zōshigaya House and the TYO Ikebukuro Designers App 302.
So to wrap up, just consider the powerful contrast here. You can start your day sipping sock-filtered coffee next to the apartment where Tezuka Osamu created his masterpieces.
And you can finish it walking past the grave of a WWII war criminal. What does that juxtaposition say about the complexity of Tokyo's past and the unique way its history is preserved?
That kind of quiet complexity, I think, is the essence of finding the real Tokyo.
Thank you for listening to this deep dive.
If you are looking for help planning your own unique trip to Japan, we do invite you to check out Rob's multi-award-winning travel planning services. The link is right there in the description.
And we really want to hear from you. Which of the famous names buried in Zōshigaya Cemetery, from the samurai Manjiru to the pioneer physician Ojino Ginko, would you most want to visit?
Leave a comment with your answer or any questions you might have about off-the-beaten-path Tokyo. We look forward to hearing from you.